Hey guys, I hope you all had a great weekend. I'm going to go through Sonnet 18, your exercise from Friday. I know a lot of you reached out to me and you said that it was very difficult and you were confused, and that's okay because this is the first time that we've ever worked with anything like this. First thing that I hope that you did was I hope that you went through and you looked at the sonnet notes I put in your folder on Friday. There were three different types of sonnet: Shakespearean, which is also known as the English sonnet, Spenserian for Edmund Spenser, and Petrarchan, which is our Italian sonnet. Every sonnet has 14 lines written in iambic pentameter. So what makes each sonnet different is its rhyme scheme. The Spenserian and the Shakespearean, if you looked at the notes, they are written in 3 quatrains and a couplet. If you look at the rhyme scheme for a Shakespearean, it's A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G, which I've done for you here. The Spenserian is A, B, A, B, B, C, B, C, C, D, C, D, E, E. And those have interlocking quatrains. Quatrain 1 locks with quatrain 2, so 4 and 5. And then quatrain, oops, sorry, actually school calling. And then quatrain 2 locks with quatrain 3. With our Italian sonnet, it is broken into an octave and a sestet, so 8 lines and 6 lines. Just like a short story, novel, or movie, a sonnet will follow a plot diagram. The quatrains or the octave is where the problem is introduced, and in the sestet or the couplets is where we have our resolution. There's also something that I want you to know. I want you to know the term volta. Volta in a sonnet is the turning point. So if we're looking at it with Freytag's pyramid, with our plot development, our climax, our turning point, that in a sonnet is called a volta. So what I want you guys to understand with the Shakespearean sonnet is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight each quatrain. A quatrain is 4 lines of poetry. So I will highlight each quatrain in a different color so you can easily see them. And then this last 2 lines, these last 2 lines, these are called a couplet. Let's go ahead and do that gray. I need to go back and redo this one. These last 2 lines are, what is happening? These last 2 lines are a couplet. Do that in blue. And then I'll do this in gray. These last 2 lines are called a couplet. You will see that they rhyme. So they're rhyming couplets or heroic couplets. Answering the question, what is the rhyme scheme? Of course, we get the rhyme scheme by looking at the end word of every line. So the rhyme scheme here is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. What is the rhythm of the sonnet? We know that all sonnets are written in iambic pentameter, which is 5 beats per meter. Remember from our notes last semester in IAM is a unit of measure, and it's also called a poetic foot. And it looks like this. It has the U and the slash. All right, I want to go down. I want to talk a little bit about an end stop. End stop is a poetic term. It means that there is punctuation at the end of a line. So it doesn't matter if it's a period. It can be a question mark, a colon, a semicolon, a comma, a period. It just means that at the end of that line, you stop and take a breath. The next term I want to talk about is enjambment. In poetry, that means that the line has no end stop. It has no punctuation. So you don't stop at the end of the line. It's developed to go directly into the next line without the poem feeling choppy. You will see here that every single line in Sonnet 18 has punctuation. Therefore, when it says write down an end stop line, you could write down any line within that sonnet because every line has a punctuation mark. So any line will do. So if you pull out a line, you want to directly pull out a line, plug it in there, cite that, you've done the job. Enjambment. Since we've talked about every line of poetry having an end stop, that means that there will be no enjambments here. Our couplet right here, our couplet is lines 13 and 14. And I also want you to know that it is the resolution to the poem. All right, so this is where the problem is resolved. There are tons of figures of speech in here. I'm not going to go through them all, but there is symbolism, metaphor, personification, alliteration, a rhetorical question. Hopefully you guys are able to see some of those. What we want to understand is that in literature, anytime they talk about the time periods, seasons, those are representing the seasons of our life. So spring, summer, fall, winter, birth, teens to 20s, middle age, going into older, and then of course winter is the season of our death. Scansion, you've done scansion before. Scansion is simply writing down the rhythm of a line. So it says to write down line 3 and do the scansion. What you guys are going to do, I'm actually just going to go up here and I'm going to do it in line number 1. Actually, I'll do it in line number 3 for you. I just won't write it down. So what it's going to look like is it is going to be, I'm going to actually take off the highlight. Ooh, let's see if I can take off that highlight. No color, all right, or I can just stop highlighting. So we're going to, I don't know why it didn't work. We're going to have you, rough winds, do, shake, the darling buds of May. Oops, of May. That's scansion of a line. That's going through and showing the rhythm, the meter. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Remember each one of these on slash slash, on slash slash. These are all iambs. So there's 5 iambs. There's 10 syllables in each line. All right, I'm just going to talk about the poem as a whole. I'm going to talk about the sonnet as a whole. I'm not going to go down, line for line, but basically what's going on here is, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? He is making a comparison. He is having a metaphor here. He's comparing his love to a summer's day, beautiful, brilliant, vibrant, sunny. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. How though his love to him is more lovely and more beautiful. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. This is talking about the seasons. All right, at the end of summer, things start to come in, the breezes pick up, and as we enter fall, leaves start to change and things start to die. Summer's leaf hath all too short a date. We all know summer is too short. So again, he's comparing the life cycle to the cycles of nature. Sometimes the eye of heaven shines. That is the sun. The eye of heaven is the sun. So then as the seasons start to change, they talk about and every fair from fair sometimes decline. Everything that is beautiful dies. We have these beautiful flowers, these beautiful blooms, these beautiful trees, but because of the changing season, when fall comes in and winter, they all start to die, as do we. And so he is equating all of this naturalistic, all of these nature elements with his love. But thy eternal shall not fade, but your eternal summer shall not fade. He's saying, my love will always be young, always be vibrant, always be beautiful. Death, the personification of death, will not come in and take his love. But how is that going to happen? All right, remember, all of this is our building point. We have our volta, we have our turning point, and then our resolution. How can his love stay forever? All right, how can his love never die? Well, our resolution says, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So what he's saying here is literature never dies. Every time we write about literature, we write about it in the present tense. It's called literary present, historical past, literary present. So every time this poem is read, recited, remembered, his love will be reborn. His love will never die because he wrote about his love in the lines of this sonnet. All right. So when he's talking about that, this sonnet makes his love immortal. Right, if you guys have any questions or concerns again about the sonnet, please make sure that you reach out to me. We will be working with another sonnet throughout the week. All right. Have a great day. Talk to you guys later.